Good evening to everyone joining us from India, and good morning to those connecting from the USA and other parts of the world. On behalf of International Council for Education, Research and Training, USA and India, I, Parnit Tomar, welcome you all to this international seminar on the occasion of UN UNESCO International Youth Day on the theme Local Youth Actions for the SDGs and Beyond. Before I begin with the deliberation, I would like to read out a few instructions for our participants. The seminar duration is 2 hours. Please follow digital ethics and keep your mic off. Don't write unnecessary messages in the chat box. There is no attendance or feedback link as attendance is automatically recorded. All candidates who will attend at least 75% of time duration will get the certificate of participation. The QA round and the QA session will be in open house discussion, and the attendance and participation certificates will be issued in 15 to 20 days after this program. So please do not write emails to ICERT before 15 days. Now, with the guidelines in place and everyone ready, let us now begin our insightful deliberation on today's theme. In a rapidly changing world, the role of youth is more crucial than ever. The Sustainable Development Goals are not just a global commitment, they are shared responsibility that begins in our communities. Today's seminar focuses on how local actions led by empowered and skilled young people can create global impact. We are privileged to have with us our distinguished speakers who will guide our discussions and inspire our efforts. I would like to extend my heartfelt welcome to Dr. Navneet Kaur, Director and Head from Education Division ICERT as our Chief Patron, Dr. Julia F. Lazarzoliani, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, ICFAI University, Mizoram, delivering today's keynote address, and Dr. Jocelyn Sagundi Vera, Associate Professor, Pangasinan State University, Philippines, our honorable keynote speaker. We are honored to have you all here for this meaningful deliberation. And to officially set the tone for this important gathering, it is my privilege to invite our chief patron, Dr. Navneet Kaur, Director and Head, Education Division at ICERT, a true champion of education and youth empowerment, to deliver the welcome address. The stage is all yours, ma'am. The virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you, Parneet. Namaste and greetings to all. Distinguished keynote speakers, Dr. Jocelyn and Dr. Juliet, respected colleagues, dear participants, and most importantly, the vibrant youth joining us today. I extend my warmest welcome to this international seminar hosted by ICERT, International Council for Education, Research and Training, in collaboration with the United Nations and UNESCO. Today, we gather to mark International Youth Day. We celebrate more than just the presence of young people. We celebrate their power to shape the world. The theme, Local Youth Actions for the SDGs and Beyond, reminds us that change begins where we stand. Whether in a small community or a bustling city, every local step towards sustainability, equality, and innovation adds up to a global transformation. Our youth are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the change makers of today. From climate action projects to inclusive education initiatives, from social entrepreneurship to technology driven solutions. They are redefining the way the sustainable development goals are understood and achieved. However, empowerment requires three essentials: awareness, opportunity, and guidance. It is collective responsibility as educators, policymakers, and mentors to create environments where ideas are nurtured, actions are supported, and impact honored to be the part of a platform that bridges international vision with grassroots actions. Let us use this day to inspire, to collaborate, and to ourselves to amplifying youth-led solutions that will not only meet the SDGs, but also build a world that is just, inclusive, and thriving beyond 2030. In closing, I invite every participant here, young and young at heart, to see themselves as a global citizen with local influence. Your vision matters, your voice matters, and your action matters. Together, let us reimagine the future and act with courage, compassion, and creativity. Thank you, and let us begin this journey with purpose and passion. Namaste.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your warm welcome and for your inspiring words and for setting the perfect tone for today's deliberation. Now, in the spirit of learning and inspiration, we now invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Julie F. Lal Zoliani, Assistant Professor in the Department of Economics, ICFAI University, Missouri. She completed her PhD in economics from the University of Hyderabad with a research focus on the intersection of health and public policy. She was awarded the Zuban Publishers Research Grant for Young Researchers from the Northeast. Her broader academic interests include environmental sustainability, gender inequality, health, and development economics, particularly in the context of Northeast India. She also serves as a board member of Zoo Humanities and the Zoo Humanities and Social Sciences Research Hub, where she contributes to interdisciplinary research and the promotion of indigenous knowledge systems. We are truly pleased to have you join us today, and we request you to begin the deliberation with your keynote speech.
Dr. Juliet, please unmute yourself and you can start.
Hello, am I audible? Uh, am I? Hello, am I audible?
Ma'am, you're audible, but your voice is coming from a little too far.
Uh, uh, yes, I'm logging through another phone. So can you unmute me on where my video is on?
Yes, it's on, and your voice is also audible now. You're audible to us now.
No, I will be sharing the PPT from this, and I will be. Can you unmute me on where my video is on?
All right, we'll try that. Your PowerPoint presentation is visible to us, though.
Yes.
Parneet, where she's there on the video, we need to unmute that. She's saying that. Yes.
Yes, I
It
get
is
it.
mute. Ma'am, you can unmute, ma'am. It's written there. You can unmute yourself.
Ma'am, you have an option to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. Good morning to all the distinguished guests, fellow speakers, organizer, and especially the youth participant present here today. I'm deeply honored to be part of this seminar organized by the International Council for Education, Research, and Training on the occasion of the United Nations International Youth Day 2025. I also sincerely thank Professor Dr. Sandeep Kumar and ICRT team for these kind invitations and for organizing a platform that truly recognize the power of young people in transforming our world. So the theme, local youth actions for the sustainable development goals and beyond, is both timely and essential. It reminds us that youth are not mere beneficiaries for development. They are its drivers and change makers. In line with this, my topic today is lightening the path, empowering local youth and for the sustainable development goals and beyond. So first come with the question, why local youth matters? Let's start with the numbers because numbers don't lie. So today, over half of the world population is under 30. And by 2030, they will rise to 57%. These young people aren't just the future, they are the present. In fact, by 2050, those under 25 today will make over 90% of the prime working age population globally. Moreover, this young youth believe in progress, where 67% of people think a better future is possible, with teens aged 15 to 17 being the most hopeful. And they have the reason to be. Moreover, this youth unemployment is at its lowest in 15 years, at 13%. But optimism alone is not enough, as 1 in 7 adolescents is struggling with a mental health disorder. And in low and middle income countries, 6 out of 10 years old can't read a simple paragraph. These aren't just educational stats. They are indicators of inequalities, missed opportunities, and urgent calls to action. This is why local youth engagement is not just important, it is essential. If we don't invest now in their potential, we lose out of achieving our sustainable development goals. And more importantly, we lose out on the future they're ready to lead. So the stable tell a powerful story. They aren't just numbers, they are a movement waiting to happen. And it comes to the question why economic empowerment matters for youth sustainable development goals. Among all the sustainable development goals, economic empowerment is perhaps a most transformative for youth. Why? Because young people can earn, innovate, and lead, and they don't just uplift themselves, they uplift the entire communities. Just think about it. To truly achieve sustainable development goals on no poverty, sustainable development goals number 8 on decent work, or number 10 on reduce inequalities, we need to do more than just open up opportunities. We need to equip youth with the tools, training, and trust to make those opportunities and work with them. But we also have to face the realities in regions. Youth still face major barriers, limited access to finance, poor digital connectivity, underemployment, and lack of pathway into meaningful work. So the question becomes, how are we going to turn potential into progress? It starts with investing in local skills, not generic training, but programs tailored to community economies. It includes like promoting youth-led cooperative, creating innovation hubs, and encouraging entrepreneurship rooted in local identity and need. So I want to give a very quick but powerful example, a story from a beautifully captured what happens when local leadership meets youth energy. A story from Champai, a small border town in Mizoram, nestled in the Indo-Myanmar frontier. It started with concern and a decision to act. In 2018,
Champai faced a major threat where protecting agricultural land known locally as a wet rice cultivation areas was being illegally converted into commercial warehouses, particularly for dry areca nuts smuggled from Myanmar. So in response to this, a group of activist citizens formed a Champai Nature Conservancy, CNC, on January 16, 2018, to protect the natural landscape and uphold agriculture laws. But what started as an adult-led initiative quickly became a youth energized movement. Young people weren't just supporting the cause, they were shaping it. In February 2019, the Deputy Commission ordered a demolition of illegal buildings in the paddy fields and reinforced protection of agriculture zone. This win was more than legal. It was symbolic. It told youth, it told youth that your voice mattered. But CNC did not stop there. Since its early initiative in 2018, CNC has worked tirelessly to protect environment, promote ecotourism, and beautify the town and the state. From protesting the construction of warehouses on paddy fields to leading mass plantation drive, CNC has consistently taken bold steps to preserve the natural heritage. But beyond this activity, that what truly defines CNC is its collaborative spirits. CNC has actively partnered with the government departments, local authorities, private institutions such as schools, colleges, forest department, NGO, and even local business. So this partnership has been essential in turning vision into action, whether it is through tea plantation or establishment of urban green spaces or opening of satellite wildlife rescue center. CNC commitment to youth engagement is especially admirable. Time and again, they have conducted an awareness campaign, school collaborations, and eco-education programs aimed at, cultivating a sense of responsibility among the youth. So whether it is planting a tree with students or organizing essays or video competitions or involving school children in cleanliness drive or any other activity, it ensures that the next generation is both informed and inspired. So their initiative goes beyond bare beautification. They foster a culture of sustainability, community pride, and proactive citizenship. So their project like sowing of cosmos flowers aren't just aesthetic. They are about building identity, environment stewardship, and community ownership. So CNC have also embraced innovation with projects such as artificial bird nest installation, ecotourism promotion, and nature toll that explore the state unique biodiversity. They have maintained a rigorous schedules of meeting, maintenance activities, social work, with ensuring that no effort is left undone in their mission. And all these projects have one thing in common. They are built on youth participation, community ownership, and environmental stewardship. So each year in October, the CNC bring life to one of Champai most anticipated and vibrated celebration, Natsingkut, which means Cosmos Festival. This is not just a flower festival, but a dynamic ecotourism event that bring the entire community together under a shared vision of sustainability, creativity, and pride in natural heritage. So the festival features a stunning display of cosmos flowers, musical nights, cosplay events, cycle rallies, food courts, and which light up the town with color, music, and energy. So the festival ground also hosts stalls for local artisans, entrepreneur, organic farmer, and creating a vibrant marketplace where tradition meets innovation. So what set this Cosmos Festival apart is its focus on the local empowerment and local youth engagement. So it ensures that this event become a platform for youth employment and skill development. Young people are actively involved as event volunteers, performers, managers, guides, content creator, or even logistic coordinators. This not only provide them with work experience, but also foster leadership, uh, teamwork, and deeper connection to their community and environment. And also local farmers are given priority to sell organic and locally grown products, from vegetables and herbs to homemade food and craft. These boost local economies, encourage sustainable farming, promote healthy lifestyle among festive goers. And moreover, the local business see a surge in visitors, allowing the town tourism and hospitality sector to thrive, all driven by eco-conscious planning. So in every sense, uh, the Cosmos Festival is a model of eco-culture celebration, one that uplifts the environment, economy, and youth. So the CNC role in organizing and sustaining this event demonstrate its unwavering commitment to greener, more inclusive Champai. And here is the key. Youth are at the center, from organizing logistics to managing eco-stalls, digital platforms, hosting events, and maintaining the festival grounds. So this is just about creating jobs. It is about creating a culture where sustainable development is the norm, where young people uh, don't just work for wages, but work for the future of their land. So the Cosmos Festival offers youth employment, skills building, local pride, sustainable tourism. It is a model where environment, economy, and culture thrive together, and where young lead the way. So CNC is a living example of local youth action for the sustainable development goals. Through conservation, education, uh, tourism, and grassroots activism, Champai youth are not just part of the solution, they are leading it. So it stands out as a model where community-led environment action can achieve a harmonious blend of policy, education, and grassroots participation. So with this consistent effort, Champai is not only greener, but it is more united. So it is crucial to continue to support and amplify such initiative, for the future of an environment depend not only on the grand policies, but on the collective actions of community like ours. So while this Champai Nature Conservancy stain is a powerful example of youth-led action, it's important to recognize that there is a part of much larger wave of local initiative across the Northeast region. Young people are in our neighborhood states are stepping out with creative courage and commitment to lead sustainable change. Let me briefly highlight a very few inspiring example. The Green Hub Fellowship in Assam and Northeast, it is based in Tezpur, Assam. So the Green Hub train tribals and rural youth in environment filmmaking and biodiversity conservation. So these young fellow, many from remote villages, are documenting forest stories, wildlife, and community traditions, mm, with amplifying local voices and protecting natural heritage. So this initiative is not just about cameras, it's about cultivating eco leaders who can tell their own stories and shape their futures, and which also align with sustainable development goals number 4, 13, and 15. And also organic farming, youth training in Nagaland. In Nagaland Pack District, the Northeast Network is equipping young farmers with skills in organic farming, seed saving, beekeeping, and vermicomposting. These uh, these training programs empower youth to participate in the climate resilient agriculture and promote local food system, which is an important step toward achieving food security and sustainability, which also aligns with Sustainable Development Goals 2, 8, and 12. And the Chizami Sustainable Livelihood Model in Nagaland itself, which is led by youth and women, Chizami village has become a national example of sustainable rural development, reviving traditional crops like millets and pulses, promoting eco-friendly livelihood, and ensuring gender-inclusive participation. So this model in Chizami village ensure that shows that sustainable development is not just possible, it is already happening. And uh, and also, I want to highlight the Youth for Water campaign in Assam and Meghalaya. In Shillong and Guwahati, young people are leading efforts to clean rivers, monitors water quality, and educate communities about water conservation. This campaign is a reminder that water activism doesn't need to start with a large budget. It starts with awareness, dedication, and teamwork. So, but if we want our youth to carry the torch, we must be the one to light the path. They cannot see, they cannot build a future they cannot see. It's our job as educators, policymakers, mentors, and community leaders to invest in them, guide them, and step aside as they rise. But you too have a responsibility. You may not only dream of change, you must demand the tools to create it, ask for training, push for inclusion, get involved on the ground, cooperate, collaborate, commit. The world won't be handed to you, but it will respond when you rise to shape it. This is the moment to show that you are not just ready, you are already leading. So today, the Champai would embrace nature conservation. Yet tomorrow, choices may shift as economic pressure mount. Survivors sometimes drive us away from our values, not out of our greed, but necessities. We must pursue development that nurtures rather than destroy our natural landscape. Let's teach the new generation what it means to grow alongside trees and embrace the richness of our natural resources. In our quest for progress, we build cities and chase dreams, but in the haze of pollution, we find it hard to breathe. In seeking gold, we lose sight of our diamonds. Let's return to our roots, rekindle our first love for nature, and inspire future generation to fall in love with the beauty that surrounds us once again. So we often say that youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but the truth is they are the leaders of today. Let's empower them with knowledge. Let's equip them with resources. And most importantly, let's trust them with responsibility. As a professor and a researcher, I have seen firsthand how deeply passionate and capable our young people are. They just need opportunity. They just need guidance. They just need, we need to trust them. They need guidance and belief. So to the youth listening today, your community needs you, your country needs you, and the world needs you. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Every small action counts. I repeat, so to the youth listening today, your community needs you, your country needs you, the world needs you. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Every small action counts. So thank you once again to ICRT for this platform, and thank you all for the time. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Lal Zarzoliani, for that thought-provoking and deeply relevant keynote address. Thank you for raising meaningful awareness about youth concerns and other pressing issues, and also for introducing us to various impactful projects related to Champai Nature Conservancy and local youth actions. Thank you so much. Uh, with that said, we would now like to move to our next distinguished guest, our honorable keynote speaker, Dr. Jocelyn Shagun Vera, Associate Professor at Pangasinan University, Philippines. Dr. Vera holds degrees in biology, elementary education, and science education, along with master's degree in educational management and science education from PSU, and a doctorate in educational leadership and management from the Universidad de Dagupan. An accomplished academic and researcher, Dr. D. Vera has authored over 21 research papers in education, natural sciences, social sciences, gender and development, extension and product development, with several under journal review. She is also a top-selling author of research and professional education books for both graduate and undergraduate students. Her achievements include the Best Paper Award at the Asian Multidisciplinary Conference in Bangkok in June 2025, Best Session Presenter at the 10th ICEDU in Sri Lanka 2024, the Lioness GAD Award 2024, Outstanding Researcher at PSU 2022, and Outstanding Extensionist at PSU 2021. She has also been recognized by the LGU of Aluminous City and the Bolani Child Development Center for her impactful community extension work. Aside from being a researcher and extensionist, Dr. D. Vera is also a book author of research book for both graduate and undergraduate school, as mentioned before. And she is also an author of professional education subject books, where she has been recognized as one of the top selling authors. With her deep commitment to science education and community service, Dr. D. Vera continues to make a significant impact on research, teaching, and youth empowerment. We are honored you could join us today to contribute to this important exchange of ideas. So the virtual stage is all yours, ma'am.
Hello, a pleasant evening to all, and may I just share my screen?
You're audible, ma'am, but your screen, as you said, is not visible to us yet.
Okay, I think my screen is not visible. Okay, it's not yet visible.
We are not able to see.
May I just send here my video presentation. We have
Dr. D. Vera, we have lost you. I think we have lost the connection.
hello, good evening. I hope my presentation is now visible.
We were able to see it for a while.
Okay, so
But
it's now visible, ma'am.
not yet, but not now, not at this point.
Okay,
Now we can see it. Yes, we
yes.
can see your presentation. PPT.
Yeah. If in case I have sent while ago a video presentation for this, if we have difficulty of playing this one, especially so I have a poor signal, then maybe we can make use of my video presentation, ma'am. I have sent it while ago through email. Okay. Is my presentation now visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. To our distinguished members and guests for tonight, especially the youth of today, and to the Director and Head Education Division of ICERT, Dr. Navnet Komar. Of course, we have Prof. Komar Sandep, Secretary General of ICERT, esteemed speakers, guests, organizers of this event. Of course, not to forget, we have the young leaders, youth, and distinguished colleagues. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening on my part, and I hope it's also evening on the part of the others. It is an immense honor to stand before you today at this vibrant gathering in the celebration of the International World Youth Day, dedicated to recognizing the incredible potential, resilience, and creativity of the youth around the globe. Today, I want to focus our attention on powerful force that can transform the world. Local youth actions for sustainable development goals and beyond. We come together to celebrate World Youth Day, a global tribute to the energy, innovation, and limitless potential of young people around the world. This event reminds us that the future belongs to what youth, whose passion and creativity drive positive change and progress in our societies. And it is time to recognize their voices, empower their ideas, and invest in their dreams. And that further, it calls on us to recognize the change begin locally, and the youth are the forefront building a more just sustainable and compassionate world. My name is Dr. Jocelyn Sagon de Vera. I am from the Philippines and I just want to share, especially for the youth, our practices here in the Philippines and how can we act on this youth local actions for SDGs and beyond. Okay, I hope, okay, it's still visible. My PowerPoint is still visible. Well, may I just know how many youth are here? Of course, we have the youth leader, I think. We have a lot. Okay, so give a heart, no? Or please send a heart if you are still a youth or you are a youth leader as well. As they always say, youth are the heartbeat of change, and I presume you believe on that. They are not just future leaders, they are the current catalysts. That's why I place it here. Innovators and advocates shaping the trajectory of our society today. Across every corner of the world, young people are stepping down to address pressing challenges from climate change, inequality to education and health. Remember, the SDGs are achievable when youth like you your own power and step forward to make the difference. But the question goes like this: how can we harness this energy at local level to create a ripple effect that resonates globally? This is the question, right? And so simply, leveraging energy locally to generate a ripple effect that extends worldwide. And how can we do that? Of course, the youth are there, empowering youth to take ownership of their communities. Remember, youth are the one that is responsible for their communities. We should empower them, aligning their SDGs passion with SDGs. And so, therefore, local youth action is the foundation of global progress. When young people identify the unique needs and opportunities within their communities, they can implement targeted solution. Am I right, youth? Okay, that are sustainable and culturally relevant. For example, youth led initiative, and I hope you agree with that. Okay, in the urban areas, you have pioneered the clean energy projects, while those in rural contexts have to improve the access of education. That is how in my place is or the youth, no? Youth have that kind of practices. And I hope you do also in your countries. Okay? To realize the full potential of youth action, we must focus on several key pillars. But before going to the different key pillars, let's try to have a simple recall of our SDGs. Since we have here our youth, of course, we have our 17 SDGs. And we have to take note of this because in our university, take note that we are trying to review this and we are trying to have partnership with other institutions. Later on, I'm going to discuss that. Let's start with SDG number one. It's no to poverty. what is the significance of this and what are the participation of the youth for this. Of course, I'll be discussing that one later. Next, SDG 2 is zero hunger, good health and well-being. Quality education is SDG 4. SDG 5 is gender inequality. SDG 6 is, of course, clean water. And SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. 8 is doesn't work in economic growth. 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And then SDG 10 is reduce inequalities. Sustainable cities and communities is we have for SDG 11 and responsible consumption and production for SDG 12. Meanwhile, I know for sure because in my country, this is our main focus. We have SDG 13, climate change action or climate action, and then SDG 14, life beyond water. SDG 15 is life on land, and SDG 16, we have peace, justice, and strong institution. And of course, we have this one. This is the most important SDGs, as far as I know. It's partnership for goals. Why did I told that, or why did I say that? That this is one of the most. It's one of the most important SDGs. It's because if we are trying to involve the youth, well, it is very important that we have partnership. Okay, for these UN sustainable goals, our universal call to action to end the poverty, right? To protect the planet and to ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Given the year 2030 is the deadline for achieving the 17 targets and 17 goals. Each of the goals specifies target to allow communities to focus on their effort. The goal of youth lead vocal projects can align remarkably neatly with these aims, with the youth serving as community resources for sustainable development. And so, therefore, just to give you a background, way back 2015, there is already a sustainable development goals. However, it only aims to tackle poverty, inequality, and climate change. But now, the one that I have presented a while ago, we have a lot under 17. Now, the 17 connected objectives of SDGs calls for a better world by 2030 and call for cooperation at the multiple level, including the local communities. Each of these goals represents targets, challenges, such as clean water. Everybody needs water, and we know that. Fair cities, we are living in cities, right? Gender equality that are relevant to people everyday life in communities across the world. And so, therefore, we have this one understanding the sustainable goals. The SDG on the ground for local communities, the SDG needs an action plan. They want to ground out efforts that respond to a varied situation for local people. The SDGs are tools for local action. They allow people, for example, particularly small town or rural area to spot the location problem and tailor solutions, right? We as an educator and you as a youth volunteer, most of the time, try to look for a certain area. And in that manner, we are helping a certain community with these things. Okay? That relates closely to global framework. And this focus local not only ensures the efforts address problem will be effective, but also they are sustainable because solutions take into account local problems as well as the resources that are available. Okay. So this is what you call youth empowerment. Here in the Philippines, as you can see here on the picture, we have our youth volunteers. And their place youth volunteers and leadership empowerment are vital in the promotion of active involvement in the community. They are the new perspective and new ideas that lead to local action. And I know for sure that also in your countries, right? There are also youth volunteers, youth leaders, I presume. It's not only in my country, but that is just a picture of the youth, no, leaders in my country. Once empowered, they occupy leadership position that solve immediate problem and also contribute to the achievement of long-term objective of the sustainable development goals. This is another. Okay, so for youth empowerment and leadership, it's very important that skills acquisition, this is the bedrock of the youth empowerment. There are continued focus programs on training, for example, in communication. It's very important also that we have to train our youth leaders, project management, and critical thinking among the youth to provide them with confidence and tools they would need to lead initiative. That's how we do, or that is our practices for our youth leaders. Okay, based on the research which I have read, it says from Yuri et al. Of 2024, in Nigeria, youth empowerment scheme have trained young leaders to design local project-based community. Okay, so if you want to know further about this, well, you can check on that. I am just sharing these things, not to you. Meanwhile, I also read that in Kenya, the Youth Against Climate Change organization has engaged youth to synthesize and advocate for responsible behavior in their local communities. Meanwhile, in Uganda, group of young people taking the lead and campaign to secure the clean water, highlighting role of collective actions to drive big changes. These younger leaders who came after the generation of President Putin's rule in Russia represent a person who does not limit themselves to recognizing problem but also formulates and implement those solutions. Okay, if you want to know more, I have here my references. You can have my PowerPoint presentation. Meanwhile, the picture that you can see are actually a combination of youths and professional in my place. And what particular SDG are we trying to do here? SDG 13, it's because it's more on climate that we are focusing. What else? Next one is SDG 12 is also involved in these activities that we have. And we have our partnership. In order for us to have a successful project, it's very important to have partnership. Okay? So we cannot do it alone. Meanwhile, let's go back to youth empowerment and leadership. In my place, which is the Philippines, a Filipino youth participate in SDG goals through we have the so-called Sangguniang Kabataan or SK. This is a youth council in local government. Youth lead organizations like 2030 Youth Force Philippines and Youth for Global Goals or Youth for GG. And what are we doing here? We are planting trees. So we are saving the planet and we are addressing that on the SDG, still for the climate, SDG 13. And as you can see here on the lower one, we are also planting at the same time cleaning the rivers. Okay? Those are the activities wherein we involve our students. We involve the youth. As I mentioned a while ago, in our school, in my university where I am now, we have the so-called Com Universidad. And the participation of our student volunteers and also the non-governmental organizations, they try to what? Partner with us. And in order to save the environment, we are doing community services. And there is an integration in our subjects also, such as the National Service Training Program. Okay. Next one is we also have here. So What about our local actions, emergency local advocacy? Our school, the Pangasinan State University, has the advocacy of promoting volunteerism in order to address the SDGs. And we have here programs are generally centered in urgent issues such as waste sorting, clean water, and environmental presentation. Okay, for instance, youth run community gardens not only to enhance food security, they also endanger community, shape responsibility participants. Evaluations of these projects important successes in multiple aspects such as increased community participation, environmental education. We do that through our extension activities. Young leaders can refine their approach by collecting informations on project outcomes while showing the evidence of stakeholders. And there is a feedback loop drives, even investment and support for local government. It's just like a symbiotic relationship. So as you can see here, I hope you know what is mangrove is. We are planting mangrove or mangrove also in certain areas, no, in my place. And that's what we have. This is a combination of students as well as faculty members from the university. Meanwhile, we have here, these are the pictures of faculty members as well as students, wherein we do a coastal cleanup. Okay? You know, in my place, there are a lot of bodies of water, and so therefore, we are taking care of this water. Next one is we have the innovative solutions by the youth. How is this? How is this innovative solution by the youth? Of course, we have to encourage those younger ones that they have to preserve our environment. And so therefore, we can make it TikTok for that. We can post on the Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Now, in our university, since we have our Universidad, and this is a volunteerism addressing, of course, to the different SDGs, what we do is that we try to host the activities together with the youth and, of course, together with the volunteers. And in this manner, we are trying to recognize them. In that way, we feel that we can have or we can share recognition to them by doing that. So now there are also challenges faced by local youth. According to Pitalangoni et al. In 2024, there are certain barriers of local young people to engage in community movement actions towards SDGs. Number one is we have the socio-economic factors are these obstacles. They prevent the young from gaining access to essential resources like transport or tools for projects or even technology. And this is the reason why we should have partnership with other agencies. Another is the dearth of resources may prevent them from actively participating in the initiatives and processes that can change. People from low resource backgrounds may encounter extra challenges such as limited support or mentorship network. Such element make them feel that they are isolated and make mean that young people don't necessarily have the skills and information necessary to participate in community actions. And that's why I have mentioned a while ago that it's very important that we have to educate the volunteers before joining such. And the unpreparedness may also compound the divide between the haves, no? Who can have the ability to contribute and have the next who do not. Okay. Next one is what is the solution for this? Work in partnership. And we are doing that in my country. We work with the private sector, we work with the government as well, and also the non governmental organizations, or we have the NGO. Another thing is that we work also with the local organizations. School. But you are already a university. Yes, we are a university, but we try to partner with another university. That's how our practices are. Okay? And companies who can also support us environment. Know how of all kinds of society, both young people can inherit hurdles is more open and efficient vision. One C is actually building a partnership. This one, I hope you can see it, are the local volunteers and I put that place. We are addressing it no to hunger or university made partner with the local government and we try to in order to help typhoon. We involve from the university.
Uh, we have lost connection with Dr. Vera, so if she joins back, we can continue with her discussion. her deliberation. Meanwhile, we'll begin with our question and answer session. And for that, we have Dr. Navneet Kaur, Director and Head of the Education Division at ICERT, as our moderator. Um, for our participants, this is your opportunity to engage with our speakers. So please keep your questions concise and relevant so we can hear from as many participants as possible. Also, we request all participants to kindly type their questions in the chat box so that it will be easier and for everyone and there won't be any chaos. So please write your questions in the chat box. I request all our participants again to write their questions in the chat box. Over to you, Navneet ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Namaste, everyone, once again. As Albert Einstein once said, the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. I also take a moment to thank the wonderful moderator of today's session, Parit Thoma, and both our keynote speakers for their valuable insights. With that spirit, I invite all of you to share your questions. Please type them in the chat box so we can collect and respond to them in an organized manner. Friends, we have just heard inspiring ideas, real life examples, and powerful visions for our future. But knowledge truly comes alive when it is shared, questioned, and reflected upon. The next segment is not just a question answer round, it's a space where your voice matters equally. Remember, local youth actions for the SDGs is about ownership. And ownership begins when we are curious enough to ask questions and bold enough to share our perspectives. Encourage you to think not only about what can I ask, but also what can I contribute. Every question, every thought you share here could spark an idea for someone else in this room. So let's keep this interactive, inclusive, and solution focused. Together, let's explore how our local actions can create global ripples. With that, the floor is now open for your question and reflections. Please type them in the chat box. We are waiting for the questions. Wow, the first question is, what is the position of research on impactful local actions? So any of the speaker can take this question. I'll go back again with the question. What is the position of research on impactful local actions? So any speaker can unmute. Dr.
Yes,
Juliet?
yes.
Yeah.
I think that was a really interesting question. Like, I think it come from a researcher itself. I think this kind of programs also need to be evaluated. Need to Actually, these are crucial to study the impact. Actually, I think research. Uh, I think like even though we are uh, encouraging this type of research, this type of initiative to the youth, but on the same time there need to be a research which shows whether the activities, the program have some impact on it. So there need to be so it's crucial to have a research working on that. But the thing is, we also have to look on how kind of research is done, like the environmental impact, how the community impact. There are many index and many procedure which is also follows by the some government, some institution. So I think this is a very good area for doing research. There are many activities which is given by every country government for this sustainable development goals. So I think like there's a very good scope to do research on that, but on the same time we also have to look with some kind of measurement procedures, indicators, what
the right methodology to use, like environmental impact assessment, social economic impact assessment. I think yes, I think will be really relevant, and also it's a must to do research on that.
Wonderful answer by Dr. Juliet and Jacob. I want to add on something over here. So, research is the backbone of impactful local action. Without it, we risk working with assumptions rather than evidence. So, we all know research helps us identifying real needs, measure impact, and replicate success. So, globally, the SDGs encourage you to both change makers and knowledge creators, as ma'am has said. When local initiatives are backed by solid research, be it service, community mapping, or data analysis, they gain credibility, attract support, and influence policy more effectively. So, without data, you are just another person with an opinion. And with data, your action becomes a movement. That's why it is so important. Thank you so much for asking that question. I'll take next question of Charanya Thanga Bharti. Uh, Currently pursuing my final year UG sociology. My doubt is still now youth are not able to participate in the governance and in the parliaments. So apart from academically, how we could contribute? This is your question. Any of the speaker can take the question. Charanya is pursuing final year UG sociology and has a doubt. Still now youths are not able to participate in the governance and in the parliaments. So apart from academically, how we could contribute?
Okay. I think that it's very concerning because youth are often excluded from decision-making spaces, especially not just as a whole in my country, even in my community as well. So they are treated as a passive recipients rather than equal partners. So they lack inclusions, which under determines their ability to contribute on the progress of SDG. So on the same time, it also when ma'am was repeating the question, it's hard to see those young hearts carrying out the burden of a broken world. We are expected to stay silent, to accept and endure, but only that silence has never healed the wound. Maybe like it's time to start asking hard questions, not out of rebellion, out of hope, such as we are organizing a seminar, such as we start writing a paper, such as we start writing anything from our own areas. Like you are from literature, you start writing out in your poem, in your story, you start indicating that, because these voices need to be heard, because the adults I will never let us, but it is a time we demand for it, but not in a rebellion way, but out of hope. Like we start asking the hard questions. I think that's the answer I can have for now.
Wonderful, wonderful sharing, ma'am. That's great. Charanya, that's really a relevant and powerful question. Youth participation in governance isn't limited to holding a seat in parliament. See, influence begins long before formal political positions. How? Community actions, policy advocacy. We are doing all these things in our daily life. Digital citizenship, skill based volunteering. So, networking with change makers. So, I'll quote one example here. Nelson Mandela said once, sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that great generation. You don't need a title to lead. You need purpose, persistence, and a platform. And today's youth has all three within reach. So you just have to start and you can go. I'll go for the next question. So there's a question from Sonu Kumar Mishra. How can youth get a success in a country where the politicians are still working in their 80s and youth are being retired forcefully in their 50s? Oh my God. I look, it's irony. Yes, uh, Dr. Juliet or Dr. Jocelyn, anyone, if you can take this question. I
Yeah,
feel okay. Yeah, ma'am, please continue.
yes, ma'am. I was just reading here on the chat box. The question is, how can is it
How can
found here?
yeah? How can youth get a success in a country where the politicians are still working in their 80s and the youth are getting beat retired forcefully in their 50s?
Yes. It's a matter of motivating the volunteers, the youth. No, I would say that well, it's just a matter of motivating our youth, and as they always say, you have to lead first, and of course, by leading, others will follow. And I think that's the best thing to do for the leaders. That's it, ma'am.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said. So, Sonu, your question touches on a reality that many young people feel frustrated about the gap between opportunity and aspiration. But here's the truth: success is not defined by when the system allows you to step in, it is built by creating spaces where your voice cannot be ignored. So, you can still rise in such a climate. Create influence before authority, wherever you're working. So you need to have mentorship and alliance. So I'll quote again Abraham Lincoln's best way to predict the future is to create it. We may not always control the retirement age policies, but we can control the relevance of our contributions. When your impact is undeniable, that gatekeepers eventually have to make the room. So again, it's okay. The policies may be different, but again, we are the change makers. Thank you for asking that question. I'll go to the next question. Okay, somebody has asked, though according to me, every goal is important. Which SDG goal is most important for the youth? So, to the my mentors, please, anyone can answer.
Okay. For me, hello. The
Yeah, yeah,
question
ma'am,
is
please.
yes. The question is which SDG is very important for the youth? In my
Yeah,
case or in my country, I would say that SDG 13 is given so much attention in my place. Also with the SDG 4 and SDG 5. 4 is the quality
yeah,
education. Next one, SDG 5, is gender. SDG 6 as well, clean water and sanitation, because everybody needs clean water. And then we have also SDG 13. It's
yes.
because in my place, SDG 13 is climate action. In my place, it is known as the Ring of Fire, and most of the time, we were visited by typhoons. And if I'm not mistaken, in my last presentation, I have mentioned that there was a typhoon, and of course, the picture which I have shown is actually the volunteers. We work together with the government, with the NGOs, as well as our youth volunteers in order to help others. So those are the very important SDGs. And of course, SDG 17, that is partnership for goals. Thank you,
I
ma'am.
totally agree. I totally agree with you. For me, also, quality education is something very important because education is not just about degrees, it is the foundation of critical thinking, innovation, and leadership. Every goal is important, rather. So, as Ban Ki moon has beautifully said, education is the foundation for sustainable development. If we invest in empowering the minds of young people, what we are doing actually today, they will build the solution for every other global challenge. So, we are preparing leaders to find solutions and do something great for the whole globe. Wonderful. Let's go to next question. It is the Sari Rajesh Babu. Sustainable Development Goals models templates help to study any possible models to meet the requirement of each goals more specifically. Okay. So any of the mentors can take up. Basically, he's saying sustainable development goals models, they help to study. So any possible model we need to share with them to meet the requirements of each goals more specifically.
Well, in my presentation a while ago, and I'm sorry because there was my apologies. There was a Wi-Fi. I lost my connection.
Yes.
Actually, there are certain case studies. There are studies wherein um they describe in their studies. You can have my PowerPoint presentation, and my references are actually included there, wherein they have the case study. Actually, it's not a template, but it's the activities that they are doing for every SDG that they are um practicing in their place. Okay, so with that, it's good to somehow read some research, especially focusing on the SDGs, and you can have a prototype of this activities, which you can use it in your country.
I agree. I have recently worked on few of the models. I'll just give brief of that, what Dr. Rajesh has asked. So I remember I've worked with SDG 13, climate action. So baseline is very important. When the baseline assessment was there, I measured local carbon footprints because that was the base. Now after that, I need to make my action framework. So there I identified key community interventions like tree plantations, renewable energy adoption, and waste management. And then you need to monitor the tools using apps or dashboards, or you can track progress. Same when we work with SDG 8, that is decent work and economic growth, could have a model that maps local skill gaps, creating training programs and connects youth to green jobs. So when youth work with such templates, they move from awareness to action, so ensuring their projects are not just inspiring, but also sustainable and scalable. Very, very deep question. And I think we all, as an educators, must understand every model. Then only we can help the youth. Thank you for asking this question. And thank you, Dr. Jocelyn, for giving such a wonderful answer. And thank you for offering your PPT so that that can be a great help to every youth who really wants to work deep in this project. I'll go to next question. How Chaya Gupta has asked, how does AI impact sustainability? Any of the speaker who will take this?
So when we talk about the impact of AI in sustainability, like I think I will talk about the pros and cons. So like if we have efficient resource management, like AI can reduce the waste in energy, water or agriculture, or we can have a proper climate modeling or prediction, like in smart cities, transportation, like traffic, energy use, and a proper urban planning. And we can also have a circular economy support. That means AI can track materials for reuse, recycle, and waste reduction. But there's also some cons, disadvantage. There's a high energy consumption. I think we must have be aware of it. So in AI, models require massive computing power and electricity. There is many electronic waste and hardware demand. So AI system increases the need for devices and data centers. And also, I also want to include the ethical and social risks. Like without fair design, AI can reinforce inequality or exclude vulnerable groups. So, and also data dependency. So, some of the sustainability solutions might be skewed if it's based on incomplete data or some biased data which we get from AI. Okay.
Very true. So AI can be a game changer for sustainability. Wonderful answer. So we'll go to next question. That is Megha Chaudhary's. What are the practical actions as a scholar I can take, and why no support when we want to take actions? So I'll repeat the question. What are the practical actions as a scholar? So it is for what? For sustainability, you need to mention something is missing here. What are the practical actions as a scholar I can take maybe when I'm working on sustainability, and why no supports when we want to take actions?
Okay. If we want to start something, I think we have to start small. We have to start small. We have to start local. We can just, with a group of friends, we can just organize a cleaner drive, awareness campaign, or teaching those in schools and skills workshop. So real change often begins in communities in a small group. So and also we can join another form some join some another youth group. And I think on Vam also has mentioned in her slide. So we can engage with the local leaders, and also we can use the social media to share stories, challenges, and idea to raise awareness. And we can also apply for small grant, because now there are many grants, and it's all based on sustainable development goals. And why are we not getting support is also there is always a limitation, that is finance. But there's also a lack of trust, because those ideas were still from the youth, and so there's always a limited funding and prioritization. But there's always a limitation. There's always going to be a limitation. But we are about to settle within that limitation. We'll always find a way if we have a goals.
Wonderful, wonderful explanation, ma'am. Thank you. I'll go with the next question. That is Mr. Vivek Kumar. How is access to digital learning being addressed in remote or underprivileged areas?
I want to leave it that actually I've seen that an answer because I have work on digital divine and between urban and rural areas within my state as well. So it's heartening to see that the bridge between the urban areas and rural areas is very different, because 70% of the people in my states are settling in the urban areas. So rural areas doesn't have the facilities. So having an internet, having a proper electric city is also a privilege for them. So there are times I think this really need to be stated. This really need to be shared, because they don't have the same opportunities. Uh, because like right now, if I have shared to some of my students, when they have left to their place, I lost connection. I cannot contact them, because I cannot call them, because there are many network issue, digital divine all over. So I don't have the solution. I think we need to raise it more. How does development should equally go, and how not only should focus on the urban areas. So I'm also the one who is facing that issue. So I really appreciate that that being in the equation. Yes.
I want to add what Vivek has asked. See, access to digital learning in remote or underprivileged areas being addressed through few of the things, as you are also facing the same problem, low cost devices. So government and NGO programs, they can distribute tablets or smartphones. We can have offline learning solutions, preloaded educational contents are there on SD cards, and solar powered devices now are there in the system. We have community digital hubs, so local schools and libraries offering shared internet access, we can work on that. And of course, public-private partnerships. So telecom companies providing subsidized internet packages are there. So the real challenge is not just infrastructure, but digital literacy. So empowering learners and teachers to use these tools effectively. So that is I think going to bridge the gap between two.
Okay, ma'am. Excuse
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
Can I also
Yes,
add
please,
to
ma'am.
it? Okay. Since I am an extensionist, researcher, and extensionist at the same time, one of our extension activity is actually in a rural area. What do we usually do is that we give them the pamphlets or the leaflets. It's just like the handouts. We go to their place and then we are teaching them. We just bring the gadgets. We are teaching them manually, and then afterwards, if they already knew it, because we bring the gadgets, we just try to introduce. Now, if they already master it, we will be bringing them to our university to teach them how to do it. And
Great.
with that, we try to provide the rights for them, and then the let's say for instance the computer that we have, how are they going to do that? We are bringing them to the university, and after a certain number of days we will be bringing them again to teach another lesson. That's how we usually no teach our respondents or our adopted uh barangay. We call that barangay, or the rural area. Okay, that's it.
Great. I'll take one more question. Kazim has asked a question. How can we convince a youth that has been deeply affected by Yahoo Plus syndrome to get back to his normal life activities? How can we convince a youth that has been deeply affected by Yahoo Plus syndrome to get back to his normal life activities? Any of the speaker? Okay. So I'll take this. Okay, ma'am is there. Yeah, ma'am, please.
No, uh, no, it's a very sensitive question. So, uh, I might not have, I don't, I might not have the answer, but I think like in this kind of, uh, in this kind of cases, I think we start with understanding, and not judgment, and and I think they also need a support and network with mentors, counselors, some other youth program as well, or some rehabilitation and some empowerment. So, and this kind of changes won't come overnight. So I think we have to keep showing encouragement, and even if they resist at first. So something like that. Okay.
I totally agree. So, helping a youth deeply affected by a syndrome like Yahoo Plus begins with compassion, not correction. So, we need to listen first. Let them share their story without judgment. Small wins are important. Encourage like gradual participation in simple, enjoyable activities. We need to give peer support. We need to connect them with a trusted group or mentor. And professional help is really needed. We need to involve counselors or psychologists if needed. Healing is not about rushing back to normal, but creating a new normal where they feel safe, valued, and purposeful. I'll take one more question from here. Or if I can take one from the raise hands. Let me take where I'll see a hand raise. I'll take the first one. I can't see any. Okay, Chirag Agarwal has raised hand. Yes, Chirag, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Chirag Agarwal. Chirag's question is there. I can take that. What was the toughest challenge you faced as a young person and how did you overcome it? Wow. Yes, any of the any of the mentors can take the question. Wonderful question because everyone has their own challenge. So we could have taken this.
Okay, I'll go first, I think, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, one of the toughest experience which I made is to conduct an extension activity to the IPs, or indigenous people, because I have to go to the mountainous area and stay there for 2 days without electricity. And it's very difficult to stay in an area wherein there's no electricity, there's no signal as well. But it's because it's part of your advocacy. That's why you have to go there, you have to teach them in order to help them. So I just did is that I just try to go to that area even though it's very difficult for me, but somehow at the end of the activity I told myself that, oh, finally I did this, and I think I made a very good contribution and big contribution to them because they learned something from me.
Very true. Dr. Juliet, you want to add on something on this from
Yeah,
your experience?
yes. The question when I heard the question, like many things keep reflecting in my mind, some kind of relationship, education, and all that. But the in the present state, what I want to highlight is the greatest challenges I face is like accepting who I am, because sometimes there are things which are not feasible, some things which are not working. Sometimes uh, as a human, as a person, we stress a lot, but sometimes I say to myself, like, today stress is enough for today. So I say to myself, and sometimes there are times I need to thank myself, like I need to appreciate myself. And sometimes sometimes uh my mood changes as well. Sometimes I make wrong decision, but sometimes I need to accept myself and learn what can I learn on this wrong decision. So I think yeah, that's what I want to share.
I'll also share mine. So one of the toughest challenge I faced as a young person was balancing my dreams with societal expectations. There were moments when self-doubt crept in and the world seems louder than my own inner voice. I overcame it by staying anchored to my values, finding mentors. Truly, I'm grateful to all my mentors who believed in me and turning every setback into a stepping stone. Dr. Sandeep is one of my mentor, and I really acknowledge him because many times, you have so many obstacles, you're struck, and they just give a clinch and you just move ahead. Today, I remind every young person your path may be unique, and that's your greatest strength. You need to understand and you need to value that. I'll take one more. I have little time. I can take more questions. Okay, let me take another question. Krishna Joshi is saying, my question for youth nowadays, what is the best skill for education? I have missed that question. Let's go with that best skill for education. Anyone?
The best skill for education. I don't know whether I get the answer right. I think like maybe might be you are asking about the areas, or I don't know, but I don't think there is such skills, but the only skills I know is hard work and consistency. And sometimes I think that's the only skills needed. And sometimes you need not, it's not all about being educated. You also need to have some emotional intelligence. Like you need also need to be a people person to understand someone. So I think that's my answer. Yeah, that's my
Very
answer
true.
to the question.
I also feel the same. For me, communication is one skill which is very important in education, plus connectedness. You need to connect, with your student, the learner. Then only I may be double PhD, but if I'm not able to give my education what all I have to my learner, then that education is not complete. So that communication is something very, very important. That connectedness is something very, very important. Okay, there is a question from Usma Musa. No, he has only appreciated. No question. Let me take some other. Appreciations I'm not taking. I'm trying to search the questions. Professor Dr. Manavalan, which skills are needed for youth empowerment? Which skills are needed for youth empowerment? Anyone?
Okay. I was expecting ma'am because we might be more specialized on that. I think Navid Kaur ma'am also has also mentioned communication skills is really crucial on this. And also we need to have a critical thinking and problem solving, and also what I found very crucial in the ground in based on my experience is leadership and teamwork. uh, like teamwork to able to work with others, and also some other extra skills needed is the digital literacy and and financial literacy as well, and self-confidence and resilience. Okay, thank you.
So I believe all 21st century skills are maximum. You all should know. We all should know. See, we are learning skills. We are learning so many new things. But after 10 years or 20 years, things will change. These things won't be there. But two things will remain. I normally tell that people and problems. So you must know those skills where you're dealing with these two major aspects, people and problem. So 21st century skills are definitely beneficent for us today. So we can work on that. See, empowerment isn't gift given to the youth. It is basically a toolkit they must build for themselves. And that toolkit is 21st century skill. I'll go to next question. Okay, again, Chirag Mittal has another question. How do you handle failure or setbacks?
Well,
Okay.
in order to handle this failure or feedback, first one is, if we are a leader, it's very important that we have to accept the so-called constructive criticism. By criticism, we will not die, but we will be growing. We will be improving whatever is the problem that we have. And so, therefore, with regards to that feedback, it's very important in order for you to improve. So, just take it as a constructive one so that you know what are your weaknesses and you can improve it. Because nowadays, it's very important that feedback should be given by others so that you know whether you are on the right track in attaining your roadmap.
Totally agree. So failure is not the opposite of success, it is a stepping stone to it. So when I face failure or setbacks, I treat them as feedback, not final verdicts. They are opportunities to pause, learn, and re strategize. So failure doesn't define us, our response to them does. If you can learn to bend without breaking, you will rise stronger every time. So I'll take the next question.
Ma'am,
This,
could I just add
please,
something on
please,
that
please
in
add
there,
on, ma'am,
because I
please.
think it's really crucial. So handling failure and setback are naturally means that we are accepting them as a part of a life journey. Yes, they are a part of a life journey. So not as the end of the road. So it is okay to feel upset or frustrated. So
Yes.
those emotions are really important. And by after giving yourself those space, you try to see and you can learn from their experience how it can help you grow stronger. And also sometimes these failures are not just a setback, it is a hidden doorway to new opportunities we never saw before. So those are the things with my age that I've experienced. For the youth will be questioning, but sometimes those failure was just a road key other which which opened the another doors for me. Okay, thank you.
Totally agree. Mistakes are acceptable. We should make mistakes. More I will work, more I will make mistakes. Now, I shouldn't take that mistake as a failure. It is just a stepping stone. Thank you for all the answers. I'll take the next question. That is Nisha's question. What changes should be made in the education policy to move the youth in the right direction? I repeat my question. What changes should be made in the education policy to move the youth in the right direction?
Well, for me, the curriculum of a certain course or a certain program is very important. That's why in my country, every after 5 years, 5 years is too long, but sometimes 3 to 5 years, there is a what you call curriculum revisitation. They try to revisit the curriculum and add some subjects, or they try to delete some subjects in order to improve whatever is lacking in the curriculum. Meanwhile, as to the question is how can we improve it? Well, our basis here in my country, in the Philippines, is we have the board examinations. And when it seems that the curriculum is no longer, should I say, it's already weak, usually it's about time for them to insert some subjects, the useful one. Plus, of course, in education nowadays, it's very important that we have also to consider technologies, because everybody is using technology right now. Because if they won't um, include that one, well, will be lag behind or left behind. Thank
I
you.
agree. I totally agree. I just want to close on this with my 25 years of experience in education. If education policy can shift from exam focus to life ready, our youth won't just move in the right direction, they will lead it. So that focus is important. I'll go with the next question after this. Rajkumar's question. How to make brain and mind sustainable to make society sustainable? Wow. How to make brain and mind sustainable to make society sustainable?
Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, yes, please, please, please. Please
So
share your name first.
my name is Salim Balasidi, calling from Nigeria.
Okay. Wonderful to have you,
So,
sir.
based on the question you said, my observation is not just about the exam.
Okay.
Changing curriculum or let the curriculum, educational curriculum reflect our cultural values. If the educational curriculums will be based on our cultural perceptions, will be based on our cultural understanding, our cultural activities, definitely the education system will be simpler for the student, and the exams will not be difficult, and it will not be problems. The only thing we are facing, whether in India or in Africans, especially here in Nigeria, or countries that have multicultural perceptions, is that the curriculum is not reflecting or is not valuing our cultural activities.
I totally agree with you.
If the curriculum reflect or value our cultural activities, definitely the education or the technological advancement will be simple and easy for our youths.
I agree with you. See, cultural aspects are important. What culture is giving us? It is giving us values. It is making our character more strong. It is taking us back to the roots. But along with ethical values, knowledge is important. You need to, why curriculum is made. Now, there, if the concept is clear and you are a regular learner, then exams won't be a hassle for you. If I'm only preparing myself when the examination comes, then the stress comes. If I make a timetable, I make my principles that this is my daily routine, which I have to take on every aspect. there my cultural aspects should be integrated. So they will become a part of me. So readiness is very, very important. Acceptability is very, very important. And I feel exams should not be taken as test or somebody judging you. Examinations are like a landmark where you get to know how much I know and how much more I need to learn so that I can give back to the universe something. So that should be the criterion. That should be the. I've loved your answer. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing your views. Thank you so much. I'll take the next question of Rajkumar. How to make brain and mind sustainable to make society sustainable? To our worthy speakers.
With a very brilliant question, need a very brilliant answer. So I think sustainable mind think about the long term, care for the planet and inspire action. So when we nurture our mental strength, we build a society that protects both people and art for generation to come. So, thank you.
Great. So what Rajkumar has asked, I believe, see, a healthy mind is the seed of a sustainable world. To make the brain and mind sustainable, we need three pillars. First, I want you to understand what is brain and what is mind. What is mind? Mind is not here. Brain is here. Mind is here. It is connected with heart. So we need to understand where is the connection. So if I'm living mindfully, I'm practicing like reflections, meditation, journaling, resilience. Definitely, I'm coming at that path. And it's a lifelong learning. It's not one day task. The way I have just, when Salim has shared about the cultural aspects, because I added there that it is a lifelong learning, continuous upgrading skills, upgrading change, and balanced lifestyle, which is important. So for balanced lifestyle, again, we need nutrition, exercise, so many other things. Digital discipline, very important nowadays. We are on the phone half of the time, more than, I think, 80%. Our job requirement is like that. But again, we need to put some blog over there that, okay, fine, I need to refine my clouds also. So when individuals nurture their mind with clarity and compassion, they naturally create communities that think long term and act responsibility. So ultimately making society itself sustainable. So both are interrelated. Wonderful question, deep question. Megha is asking, ma'am, as a scholar, how can I be a part of this organization? Please suggest. You have to go online. You have to fill all the form, and the jury will look after your work, what all you have done. So once you complete the bar, which is there as a member, definitely you will be given a mail. So you keep on trying. We always look for people who are creative, who really want to do something for the society. They all are open for ICRT, because ICRT is one platform which is really for researchers, planners, scholars who really want to do something for themselves and for others. So we always look forward to that. Thank you for asking this question. I'll take two more questions. Oh, very deep question. What is your perspective on special education? First, let my mentors speak, then I would love to speak on this. What is your perspective on special education? If some of the mentors sing, otherwise I'll come up with that. Because this topic is something very close to my heart. I have a school in Ludhiana, and though CBSE in India has given this tagline that every school needs to be inclusive, every institution needs to be inclusive. But actually, when these kids come to us, we say no, we don't have special educators. We always give lot of, remarks that facilities are not there, something like that. It happens in India, I have seen. But nowadays, I have seen many mentors, many principals who are open for this. Lot of great people are coming over here, those who have open arms. Okay, come, we will take care of you. So it is very, very important to welcome these kids. I don't call them special kids. I normally tell they are wired differently. They are like us only, but their brain wiring is little different. So we need to be empathetic. Our sensitivity, that value needs to be there. Then only we can understand them. Then only we can acceptability. Then only we can accept them. And trust me, in my school, I have more than 25 students over there now. It's a new school, but we have in every section one or two, and our buddy kids are taking care of them. We have special educators, we have counselors, we have shadow teachers, but still, what a child is doing with that special person, the one who needs so much of love, that is amazing. So, special education is something we all must welcome it, and we shouldn't say no to these kids. We don't know in future, from in my home only something can be there, so where those parents will go, where those kids will go. And nowadays so many opportunities have come for this great field, and I think we all are open for that. You want to add something, Dr. Juliet?
I was really I like excited to hear your answer from that. Yes.
Great. After schooling, this is Michelle from EduV. Okay. Ajin Agbenti Michelle EduV. After schooling, why do youth need to go for training before job placements? Okay. So I'll repeat the question. After schooling, why do youth need to go for training before job placement?
Okay, in my country, it's training is already a part of their subject. During their fourth year, they have their training, and if ever they will be applying for a job, then they will just be given about 5 to 10 days training, and that's it. And afterwards, they have to see their performance, whether they have a satisfactory or a excellent performance. And if it is yes, then they will be automatically hired. However, with that training, no, in my place, they are already paid. They are given a certain amount just to have that kind of training. That's how um the training and the after graduating is in my country.
Great. I'll just give one example for this. Education teaches you to swim. Training prepares you to swim in the ocean of real challenge. That is the difference. I'll go with last question, and after that we have award ceremony. So my last question is from Dhana Lakshmi. What are some effective strategies for empowering youth? What are some of the effective strategies for empowering youth?
There are many effective strategies for empowering youth. I think we need to provide.
nhưng mà इंडिया में 4 के बाद 4 भी ऐसे मतलब चल रहा था, एक 4 है। हाँ, देखिए
I think we need to start from a quality education with a skill training to have the knowledge and practice in a real world base, which will match the real world needs. And also we also need to there also need to be a mentorship and role models, which so those are the strategies. And also we need to uh, like encourage this civic engagement, so which it will help them understand their rights and how to advocate for change.
Yes, I totally agree. So there are very a lot of different strategies are there. We have to give quality education, skills training, mentorship programs are there, leadership opportunities need to be there. We must foster entrepreneurial thinking in them. So supporting mental health and emotional well-being, which is very important. So there are a lot of different strategies are there, which is going to enhance the personality in a different way. So what I was before 10 years, I'm not that now. In 10 years, with experience, with maturity, we all grow, we learn. So every day there is a learning, and you keep on churning yourself, and for that you need to be a learner. That is something very, very important. If I feel I have learned everything, then strategies also won't work. So you need to open to all different platforms which are there, which are giving you some knowledge and enhancing you to become a benchmark. Jocelyn, do you want to add something, Dr. Jocelyn? Yeah,
Yes,
please.
yes, it's very important also to empower them and to build leadership, especially for the young ones. And of course, the health and well being of everybody is very important because, as they always say, if your health if your health is good, then therefore you can think well. And so, therefore, we should have we should encourage that to everybody in order to have a good leadership as well.
Great.
Thank you.
I totally agree with, and I close today's session. So before we leave this question hour, I feel youth are not just the leaders of tomorrow; they are the change makers of today. As I said, each idea you nurture, each skill you sharpen, and each step you take towards your dreams becomes a brick in the foundation of a better world. So believe in your voice, invest in your growth, and remember, empowerment begins with self awareness and blooms through action. So let's go forward, committed not just to our own success, but to uplifting those who all are around us. Thank you for your energy, your questions, and your vision. The future is not waiting, it is already here, and it has your name on it. Thank you. Thank you for this question round. Both the speakers, thank you. All the participants for wonderful questions, and what a great brainstorming. I really enjoyed the session. And thank you, Salim, coming inside and giving your input from Nigeria. Thank you so much. Over to you, dear moderator, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I completely agree with Dr. Navneet Kaur. The session was truly enriching. And I would like to thank you for guiding the Q&A session so effectively and ensuring a lively, engaging exchange. Your experience truly reflects in your speech. And I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to our keynote speakers, Dr. Juliet and Dr. Jocelyn, for their insightful contributions that enriched today's discussion. So thank you so much, ma'am. And of course, a heartfelt thank you to all the participants for their thoughtful questions, their active engagement, and for making this conversation truly interactive. So your curiosity and perspective is what makes gatherings like this meaningful and impactful. So thank you so much, each and every one of you. We now come to a very special moment in today's seminar, that is the declaration of the Global Youth Icon Award 2025. This award honors exceptional youth, young individuals whose vision, leadership, and dedication to community service and sustainable development have set an inspiring example for others to follow. And for our recipients, we have Dr. Lavdeep Kumar, Assistant Professor from Punjabi University, Constituent College, Miranpur. He is our first recipient of Global Youth Icon Award 2025. As our second...
Permit, we can have the screen first. I'll
please.
request ICRT to share the screen for awards, please.
Okay, thank you. So Dr. Lavdeep Kumar, Assistant Professor from Punjabi University, Constituent College, Miranpur. He is the recipient of our Global Youth Icon Award 2025. Our next recipient is Dr. Naseem Akhtar, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology from Srimati B.D. Jain Girls PG College, Agra. Our next recipient is Dr. Radha Narayan, Assistant Professor, Department of English, RK College, Madhubani, Bihar. And our next recipient is Dr. Rahul Lodha, lecturer from Central Sanskrit University, New Delhi. So congratulations to all of you. So with this insightful discussion, inspiring exchanges, and the celebration of our awardees, we bring the seminar to a close. Today's event has not only recognized excellence, but also reaffirmed our shared commitment to empowering youth, fostering innovation, and driving positive change. Let us carry forward the ideas and inspiration we have gained here, transforming them into actions that shape a brighter future for all. So I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors and a beautiful day ahead. And thank you again to each and every participant today and all our speakers, and of course our chief patron, Dr. Navneet Kaur. So thank you so much everyone again. Have a beautiful day ahead. And to all our Indian participants, have a beautiful evening.